Hello students, in my last video I have discussed about random variable and probability distribution. I told you there are two types of probability distribution, discrete and continuous, right? Under discrete we have binomial and Poisson's, and under continuous we have exponential and normal. So right now in this video I am going to discuss about binomial distribution. Now what exactly and where exactly binomial distribution will be used? Suppose there is any random experiment. Okay, I am doing any random experiment and it has only two outputs. Only two outputs, and that is success or failure. Right? Now the probability of success is P and the probability of failure is Q. Definitely P plus Q is equal to 1 then. Right? Now this random experiment I am performing n number of times and each time probability remains same. Okay. Now I want to check what will be the probability for X success. So what I am doing here? See, suppose probability of X success I want to find out. So X success probability will be given by P to the power X. But I am doing experiment for n number of times. So if X time I have got the success, how many times I will get the failure? N minus X time I will get the failure. So n minus X. And now obviously this will not happen in order. So n C X. So this gives me the probability for X success. Now this is represented by the probability distribution of for X is equal to X. Right? Now observe one thing. I said probability for X is equal to X is equal to NCX P to the power X Q to the power N minus X. Correct? Now if suppose if I put X is equal to 0, what you will get? NC 0, P to the power 0, Q to the power N minus 0. If I put X is equal to 1, what I'll get? NC1, P to the power 1, Q to the power N minus 1. And same way, X is equal to N if I do, I'll get NCN, P to the power N, Q to the power N minus N, that is 0. Right? Now, if I write this probability, now observe very carefully. If I write these terms, NC0, P to the power 0, Q to the power N minus 0. Then NC1, P to the power 1, Q to the power N minus 1. NC2, P to the power 2, Q to the power N minus 2. NCN, P to the power N, Q to the power 0. These are the terms of binomial expansion. Right? If I write like this with addition, this is basically P plus Q to the power N. But this is the binomial expansion. Right? So, this value is always equal to 1. So this shows a probability distribution also. Actually this theorem is known as Bernoulli's theorem. Okay. But since it follows this binomial trend, it is also known as binomial distribution. Right. So now to understand it in much better way, let us see one example. A very simple example. See, the probability that a pen manufactured by a factory is defective is 1 by 10. So P is equal to 1 by 10. This time you should not think that defective means it is a failure. No, whatever they are saying, that is P. Right? If P is 1 by 10, then what will be the value of Q? Q will be equal to 1 by 9 by 10. Because we know that P plus Q is always equal to 1. Right? So if P is 1 by 10, Q will be definitely 9 by 10. Now they are saying there are 12 such pens. Now, what is the question? What is the probability that exactly 2 are defective? So first of all, I know that probability for X is equal to X is equal to NCX P to the power X Q to the power N minus X. For this particular question, it will be 12 CX 1 by 10 to the power X and 9 by 10 to the power N minus X. Correct? Now, let us start doing one by one all the parts. The first part says exactly 2 defective means probability for X is equal to 2. Right? So, I'll write 12 C2. Then 1 by 10 means 0.1 to the, or let it be 1 by 10 only. Why to bring the decimal? 1 by 10 to the power 2 and 9 by 10 to the power 10. Okay, 10 minus 2 is 10. 12 minus 2 is 10. Okay, now all of you use calculator to solve this. I know that NCR is n factorial upon r factorial and n minus r factorial. But I'll suggest all of you to learn how to use calculator. So this NC2 easily you can solve in calculator if you use shift and divide button. You can see there is NCR over there. So 12, shift, divide, and 2 if you do, that will give you the value of 12C2. Then you do into 1 by 10 square and 9 by 10 to the power 10. Directly in calculator you can put everything. There is x by y concept also in calculator, which you can use for 1 by 10 and 9 by 10. And power is also there. So in the beginning you may feel uncomfortable to use so many functions, but learn. Practice it, then in exam you can save a lot of time and more accuracy. Okay, so now when you will put this in calculator, you will get your value, and the value for this one will be, this is equal to 0.2301. Now the second question says that find the probability for at least 2 defective. So probability for x is at least 2 defective. Now what is the meaning of at least? At least means 2 is okay, 3 is okay, 4 is okay, 5 is okay, up to 12 everything is okay. But the minimum is 2. Right? So basically I am asking you probability for x is greater than or equal to 2. So it is from 2 to 12. So instead of writing probability from 2 to 12, what we should think? What I don't want 0, I don't want 1. So this probability can be written as 1 minus probability for x is equal to 0 plus probability for x is equal to 1. So what I don't want, that I will calculate and subtract it from 1. As we know that the sum of the overall probability is always 1. So let me put the value 1 minus, what is p x of 0? 12c0, p to the power 0, q to the power 12 plus 12c1 1 by 10 and 9 by 10 to the power 11. Correct? So now when you solve this, you will get 0.341. Now come to the third case. Third case says none of them are defective. So none of them defective. So already we have calculated here. So probability for x is equal to 0 is equal to 12c0, 1 by 10 to the power 0 and 9 by 10 to the power 12. So this is equal to 0.2824, which is my answer. So doing question is very easy. Just recognize your P, Q, N and understand properly what exactly X they are asking for. Okay, so this was the example of question which you will come across in binomial distribution. Now let us see this thing. Obtain the mean, variance and standard deviation of binomial distribution. Very important derivation, and all of you must learn it, because see, if derivation comes in exam, you can score full marks over there because it won't change. It will be having the exactly same steps. Okay, so now when I'm talking about the mean of binomial, what I should start with? We have done in probability distribution that mean is represented by mu and its formula is summation x px. X is from 0 to n. Correct? Now I am talking about binomial. So what is a p value here? X is equal to 0 to n. X, p value will be n c x, p to the power x, q to the power n minus x. Correct? Now next step. Summation x is equal to 0 to n x. Now what is NCR formula? N factorial upon x factorial n minus x factorial. Okay? P to the power x and q to the power n minus x. Now you remember like this ki I have this x and I want to get rid of this x. Also I know that factorial can be opened. How we open the factorial? N factorial is equal to n minus 1, n minus 2, dash dash dash, which can be also written as n minus 1 factorial. Correct? So the same thing I will apply here. So wherever n is there, I'll try to bring n minus 1, and wherever x is there, I'll try to bring x minus 1. So now is equal to summation x n factorial n minus 1 factorial. So one step down I am going. Now x factorial is x minus 1 factorial. Now this n minus x only I am rewriting in terms of n minus 1 and x minus 1. See, if I write it as n minus 1 minus x minus 1. So basically it is exactly same. I have not done anything. If you open this bracket, you will observe this one and this one will get cancelled and it will remain n minus x only. Now p to the power, in place of x I am writing x minus 1. So I am multiplying by p. So if you combine these two, it will become p to the power x only. And same way q to the power n minus 1 minus x minus 1. So basically if you see this thing, it is n minus x only, right? Plus 1 and minus 1 I have done, that's it. Okay. Now I got this. Now here one thing you have to take care. The moment you open this, the limit become x is equal to 1 to n, because negative factorial I should not write, right? So now summation x is from 1 to n. This x and this x got cancelled. Okay. Now this n and this p. Summation is for x. So they are independent of x. So basically I can write them outside the summation. Okay. I can throw them outside the summation. So let me throw them outside the summation. So summation x is equal to 1 to n. Now what is left inside the summation? N minus 1 factorial upon x minus 1 factorial. Here n minus 1 minus x minus 1 factorial, p to the power x minus 1, q to the power n minus 1 minus x minus 1. Okay. Now observe it carefully. What is this? If you observe carefully, this is nothing but n minus 1 c x minus 1. p to the power x minus 1, q to the power n minus 1 minus x minus 1. So what exactly is this? This is a binomial distribution. Only n value is equal to n minus 1. So x is equal to from 1 to n. This is p plus q to the power n minus 1 np. And what is p plus q? P plus q is 1. So np. So what is the expression for mean of binomial distribution? Mean is equal to np. Right? Now let us do standard deviation. Now we know that variance, what is the formula for variance of probability distribution? Summation x is equal to 0 to n x square px minus mu square. Correct? So now let us work on this. Now this x square I am modifying and I am rewriting it like this. X minus 1 px. The moment I wrote like this, see, x into x, so x square px is the same thing. Now minus x px is extra, which I am getting. So plus summation x px I have done minus mu square. Correct? Now, what is this expression? X px is a mean. Yes. So I will replace this by mu. And this side what I will do, since I am talking about binomial, so I will be opening this p by binomial formula. So x minus 1, px is ncx, p to the power x, q to the power n minus x, plus mu minus mu square. Okay. Now, in the mean derivation, I was having only x. So I open it by 1. Now I have x minus 1. So I will go one step, two step down. Right? So let me first open that thing, then I'll open this. What is ncx? N factorial upon x factorial, n minus x factorial, p to the power x, q to the power n minus x, plus mu minus mu square. Okay. Now see, summation x is equal to 2 to n. Because I want to get rid of this two terms, x minus 1. So I will open n factorial and x factorial for two steps. So n factorial, how I'll write? n minus 1 and n minus 2 factorial. Okay, upon x, x minus 1, x minus 2 factorial. And again just rearrangement, n minus 2 minus x minus 2 factorial. P to the power x minus 2. So I should do p square. And q to the power n minus 2 minus x minus 2. Correct? Plus mu minus mu square. Now, this x gone. X minus 1 gone. Now, what are the terms independent of x is n, n minus 1, p square. So, they will come out. Summation x is equal to 2 to n. Now, n minus 2 factorial upon x minus 2 factorial, n minus 2 minus x minus 2 factorial, p to the power x minus 2, q to the power n minus 2 minus x minus 2 plus mu minus mu square. Next step, n minus 1 p square. What is this? This is basically n minus 2 c x minus 2 p to the power x minus 2 q to the power n minus 2 minus x minus 2 plus mu minus mu square. Now if you observe, this is again a binomial distribution, that is p plus q to the power n minus 2 now. But p plus q is the 1. So this whole summation will become 1. And I am left with n minus 1 p square. What is mu? Np we have derived. What is mu square then? N square p square. Open the bracket. N square p square minus np square plus np minus n square p square. So this and this gone. Take np common. So 1 minus p. So npq. So this is the expression for variance. And what is a standard deviation? Standard deviation is square root of variance. So standard deviation is npq. So what you can conclude, that for binomial distribution, the probability function is given by ncx p to the power x q to the power n minus x, with mean is equal to mu is equal to np and variance is equal to npq, and standard deviation is equal to sigma is equal to under root npq. So this much you should remember under binomial. Okay, so let us do now some numericals based on this. In a quiz contest of answering yes or no, means see what are the option, yes and no. So sample space has 2 entries, okay, and obviously only one answer will be correct. So what is p? P is 1 by 2, and obviously other answer is wrong. So q is equal to 1 by 2. Okay, of guessing at least 6 answers I need to find out of 10 question. So n is equal to 10. So what is probability distribution here? Probability for x is equal to ncx p to the power x q to the power n minus x, or 10cx 1 by 2 to the power x and 1 by 2 to the power n minus x. Basically, if you see, when p and q are same, you can reduce directly this to this thing also. 1 by 2 to the power n. Right? Because if you add the power, minus x plus x will go. If you don't like, don't reduce it. Let it be simple question only, you can do it. Now, what is my question? What is the probability of getting at least 6 answer correct? Now, at least 6 means I am okay with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, probability for x is greater than or equal to 6. Right? So, probability of 6 I am okay. Probability of 7 I am okay. Probability of 8 I am okay. Probability of 9 I am okay. Probability of 10 I am okay. Right? So, let me put the values. So, 1 by 2. So, n 10 c 6. 1 by 2 to the power 6. Oh, sorry, not 6, 10. Okay, because it is n now. Then plus 10c7, 1 by 2 to the power 10. Plus 10c8, 1 by 2 to the power 10. right? So now this I can take 1 by 2 to the power 10 out. In bracket I have 10c6 plus 10c7 plus 10c8 plus 10c9 plus 10c10. So now take out your calculator and calculate the value of 10c6 plus 10c7 plus 10c8 plus 10c9 plus 10c10 and multiply it by 1 upon 2 to the power 10. You will get 0.377, which is my answer. Correct? Now, the second part of the question says, also find the probability for the same if 4 options are correct. 4 correct answers are there. 4 options. So, multiple choice. So, A, B, C, D. So, there are 4 options. How many will be correct? Only one will be correct, right? So, P will be equal to 1 by 4. 1 correct out of 4. And Q will be equal to 3 by 4. Now, same at least 6 you are doing. So, probability for x is greater than or equal to 6 is probability of 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. So, probability of 6 will be 10c6 p to the power 6 and q to the power 4. Okay, 10 minus 6 plus 10c7 1 by 4 to the power 7, 3 by 4 to the power 3 plus 10c8 1 by 4 to the power 8, 3 by 4 to the power 2. Okay, plus 10c9 1 by 4 to the power 9, 3 by 4 plus 10c10 1 by 4 to the power 10 and 3 by 4 to the power 0. So now solve this. If you want, you can take 1 by 4 to the power 10 out also. If you don't want, you can directly solve in calculator 1 by 1 all the terms and you can add it. So you will get 0.019 as your answer. Right? I suggest all of you, when I show the question, pause it, try to do it yourself and then cross check. Okay? Now look at the next question. If the mean and standard deviation of the number of correctly answered question in a test given to 4096 students are 2.5 and this. So first thing, they have given mean. Mean is equal to 2.5 and standard deviation. So standard deviation is under root of 1.875. Correct? Now, what is different in this question? One thing, directly PQ is not given, that is so okay. The other thing is that they are not asking me probability. Read the question properly. Estimate the number of candidates. Always remember, students, I can frame the question in two ways. One, I can ask the probability, and whenever I am asking the number of candidate or number of object, in that case one another n will be given, which is represented by capital N. And what you have to do after finding out the probability, you need to multiply your probability by this n to get the number of candidates, number of student or number of object. Now let us try to do this question. Now mean is given 2.5. Mean is what? NP. So NP is 2.5. Standard deviation is under root 1.875. Means NPQ is equal to 1.875. Okay. Now, can I divide these two relation? NPQ upon NP is equal to 1.875 upon 2.5. Now, N is gone, N is gone. P is gone, P is gone. What is left? Q. So, Q is equal to 1.875 upon 2.5. Right? So, when you divide this, what you will get here? Your Q value is equal to 0.75. Okay, if Q is 0.75, what is the value of P? So P will be equal to 0.25 because P plus Q is 1. Now look here, NP is 2.5. So N into 0.25 is equal to 2.5. So what is value of N? Obviously it is 10. Right? 2.5 upon 0.25 is 10. So now I got P, I got Q, I got N, and these are the three things which are required to write down the probability distribution. Now what is the first question? 8 or more question. Okay, so 8 or more means probability for x is equal to 8 plus probability for x is equal to 9 plus probability for x is equal to 10. So let me write down probability for x is equal to 8 will be what? 10C8 P to the power 8 and Q to the power 2 plus 10C9 0.259 0.751 plus 10C10 0.25 to the power 10. Correct? So this will give me the probability. Now, what is my question? My question is not probability. My question is number of students. So this probability I should multiply by 4096. Correct? So now when I will multiply this by 4096, I will get 1.703, which is approximately equal to 2. Since it is number of candidates, it cannot be decimal. Right? It cannot be decimal. Right? So now next question. What is the next thing they are asking? 2 or less. 2 or less means what? Probability of 0 plus probability of 1 plus probability of 2. Okay, because they said 2 or less. Right? What is probability of 0? 10C0 P to the power 0 Q to the power 10 minus 0 is 10. Okay. Plus 10C1 P to the power 1 Q to the power 9 plus 10C2 0.25 to the power 2 0.75 to the power 8, and this has to be multiplied by 4096 to get the answer. So you will get 2152.8, which is approximately equal to 2153. Okay. Now what is the third part? Third part is 5 questions. So third part will be probability for x is equal to 5 into 4096. Right? Probability of 5 will be what? 10C5 0.25 to the power 5 0.75 to the power 5 into 4096, which is equal to 239 approximately. So this is the answer. So doing question is very easy. Only you need to understand what exactly they are trying to say. So questions will be always easy. Just read it properly. Now look at the next question. The number of telephone lines busy at an instant of a time is a binomial variate with probability 0.1. So P is equal to 0.1. So obviously Q is equal to 0.9. And that line is busy. Now 10 lines are chosen, so n is equal to 10. What is the probability that no line is busy? So you have to find out probability for x is equal to 0. So n C 0, P to the power 0 and Q to the power 10. Correct? So you have to just put the values over there. So when you apply the when you use your calculator and solve this, this will be 0.3487. Now second one is all lines are busy. Correct? So when I am saying all lines means how many lines are there? There are 10 lines. So x is equal to 10. So 10C10, okay, 0.1 to the power 10 and 0.9 to the power 0. So answer will be 0.1 to the power 10. Right? Now what is the third case? At least one line is busy. At least one means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So instead of calculating so much, what I don't want? 0 I don't want. So I'll do 1 minus P of 0. Right? So 1 minus what is P of 0? 0.3487, which is equal to 0.6513. Now at most 2 lines are busy means maximum 2 line busy. So fourth one is 0 line busy, 1 line busy and 2 line busy. Correct? So 0 line busy means 0.3487. We have done. 1 line busy is 10C1 P to the power 1 and Q to the power 9 plus 10C2 0.1 to the power 2 0.9 to the power 8. So what is the value? When you solve this, you will get 0.9298. So pause the video, check your answer, do it yourself. Once you will do the question, you will understand it more. Okay. Now look at this question. The probability that a person aged 60 will live up to 70 is 0.65, means P is equal to 0.65. So now what is Q? Q is 1 minus 0.65, right? Now what is the next thing? So your Q value will be 0.35. Now out of 10 people, means N is equal to 10, find the probability that at least 6 will live up to 70. Very bad question, but okay, fine. So now you have to find out probability for x is greater than or equal to 7. Means 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So I will directly do P of 7 plus P of 8 plus P of 9 plus P of 10. So see, I want this 4. I can do it like this, 1 minus 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but that will be lengthy. So select the method as which will reduce your calculation and save your time. Okay, so now let us put the values here. So when you put the values here, P of 7 means what? 10C7, P to the power 7 and Q to the power 3 plus 10C8, P to the power 8 and Q to the power 2. Okay, plus 10C9, 0.65 to the power 9 and 0.35 plus 10C10, 0.65 to the power 10 and 0.35 to the power 0. Now when you solve this, this will be 0.5138, which is my answer. Right? So this is how you have to do the question of binomial. Right? Now the next is Poisson's distribution. Poisson's distribution is a limiting case of binomial where n is more and p is very small. So in my next video, I will be discussing Poisson's distribution. So like the video, share the video, and most important is subscribe the channel so that the moment I will upload the video, you will get the notification. I am trying to solve this time one question paper of last year so that you will get the idea. Once I am done with all the 5 modules, I'll pick up one question paper and I'll solve it. If you want any particular question paper, you can send me the question paper. I'll solve that question paper for you. Thank you.